walk out to the show and fall at your door. We got that info for you. Touchdown on that plane and buy anything. More than just a podcast for you.
So, question number 3. It's super hard being a student athlete in college. What are some things that a regular college student can do that a student athlete can't? What are some things that might get a student athlete in hot water? And when I say hot water, I mean potentially cause them to lose their status as a student athlete.
Well, first and foremost, breaking them NCAA rules and the school rules. That's number one. That's the difference. Most students can get away with stuff. But when you're an athlete, when you're a profile player, you're not getting away with that stuff. That's the difference. I've seen a lot of that on campus. Oh my God. Them students get away with so much, but them athletes don't. Trust me, they don't. A lot of people think they do, but they don't.
I'm gonna try not to be sarcastic because
What's that?
I feel some kind of way about this question because there's just such a narrow window of what athletes can do. Let's just see. You can't take a meal. Somebody can't bless you with a meal because you are an athlete and you play on the team. Even though you don't have money to eat, nobody can just say, you know what,
Come on, you preaching.
I want to feed you. You can't have a job, not really, even though we talked about different types of careers that are possible. You really can't have a job because it's too time consuming to play and go to school and work out and study and all the things that you have to do. You can't use even though we're having this really great discussion about name, likeness, and image, you really can't use your likeness, your popularity as an athlete to get paid. I'm gonna stop because y'all know I'm salty. I'm sounding salty about this question because I am.
No, you're not salty. You on point. Let me tell you something. You on point. Girl, look, you about to open up a can of worms. I'm just telling you.
Come on now. Come on.
I'm gonna pull it back a little. Somebody. Oh, all the things you can't do. Somebody can't just give you a ride, just see you walking down the street.
Right.
Ride. They can't. So, yeah.
I mean, these kids are doing stuff like normal kids, and they don't know till after the fact that they couldn't do that.
Right.
I mean, you get on campus, and I know things are explained to you, but you can't go through every little thing that you can and can't do. So then the kid goes and does something, and it's like, what? I can't go over down there but my classmates said no. The way you live and the way they live are two completely different things. And you held to a completely different standard than other people.
Absolutely.
And it's hard for young kids to understand that. And that's why you get into a whole mess of trouble because you live in a whole different lifestyle. We're talking about kids who are on campus who are young. They've never had this type of freedom. They've never been around this many people before. They're doing things, they have new opportunities. People recognize them, people see them, and people want to do things for them. And you're not turning that down. I mean, look at Reggie Bush. Look at these type of guys. They stripped this guy's Heisman and things are you kidding me? For accepting money, for accepting things that, I mean, it's just ridiculous to me. But like from a on-campus standpoint, I mean, you can't be involved in clubs. You can't be involved in different things. You don't have the time. You just don't have the time. When you're going to go to class, you're going to work out, you're going to do your work, you're going to go to study hall, you're going to sleep. That's about it. You don't have time to be
you don't
a
have
regular
a life.
guy. It's not.
You don't have a regular life at all.
No.
Like it's almost like the rest of your the remaining couple of years of your childhood is stripped from you because you have to be on that status. And then let's not even address the issue if a regular student is coming at you and they're calling you names or they're dogging you about how you played in a game or something like that, and you can't react. And they're totally disrespecting you.
Yeah.
And they're disrespecting you. you can't respond the way you would probably normally respond, or that student respond if somebody was disrespecting them. You can't respond accordingly, because then now your whole scholarship is in jeopardy.
Yeah. Sounds like a little bit of slavery and farming, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
It's wild.
I mean,
I've said enough.
Like, don't have a bye week and you're down to your last $10 and you're going to the club because that's what college students do. And God forbid somebody recognize you in the line and wave you into the club and be like, I got you, come on in because you're on the team. Don't let somebody send you some drinks, because just think about Miami, how they were on probation because of people getting lap dances or being admitted to clubs. I mean, like, normal things that a college student would do. It's just taken in a whole different light. It just blows my mind that you have athletes who generate millions of dollars in revenue and they don't get to have the regular college experience. What used to make me mad is people would say, well, you should be grateful that your child gets a scholarship. Shut up. I am, but not. But please speak about what you like. That would just like.
He works for that. This is not something that just happened overnight. This has been something that's been worked at. This isn't. I mean, yes, we are very thankful, but we worked for this.
Years.
This is not something that's just been given to anybody. It's
Years
been
of
earned.
sacrifice. Absolutely.
In high school, you was at home on a Friday night, or you was on the field on a Friday night, and other people were doing things. So yeah. Well, let me dial it back, because this question right here.
Free education, right? Free. It's free. But all the stuff you do to get to that free education.
Free. Yes.
No.
And even when you've
already paid the price.
There are things that you have to do every day. It's not free when you get there. Every single day you have to do something, all year round, off season, in season. Correct. And the mandatory, I call them the voluntary mandatory summer activities that you're really not supposed to, have. But if you don't show up, then you might not have a scholarship when you get back. I mean, just, deep breath. I'm gonna pull it in. Next question. If you're the parent of a middle school sports sensation, I say that with quotation marks, should you be upset if they're asked to play JV when they get to high school? Should you expect your child to go straight to varsity based on their middle school performance?
Well, I'm gonna say this. Everybody's situation is different. There's some kids that earn the right to be playing JV and varsity coming out of middle school. I'm gonna tell you right now, my experience in my travels, we probably got about. I coach at Sweetwater Athletic Association. It's a youth association from ages from 5 all the way to 14. And I'm gonna tell you, it's probably about 50, 60, 70 kids that left what we call midget, which is 13 and 14 years old, go straight to high school, skip middle school, skip JV, and get on that starting lineup in varsity and ball out for 4 years. So it depends on the actual player itself. What is he ready for? Is he prepared? Can he get it done? What's his situation? What's the school situation? It's so many different variables for a player to be penciled out as, or penciled in as, oh, I'm going to leave middle school, I'm going to play JV, and I'm going to play varsity, or I'm going to leave middle school, and I'm going to go straight to varsity, as a starter or even as a contributor. So, parents shouldn't be mad. Either way the cut go is based off the kid's ability to perform the way the coach expects. Don't be mad, because they're all different. And all three of mine were different. Trust me.
I totally agree. So we had a similar situation with in our situation with our son. He was a middle school phenom in 3 sports, and he went to high school, and we did not expect him to play varsity. There was no way that we expected him to play varsity. He was 13. He was 13 years old. I didn't want my 13-year-old child going up against some 18 and 19-year, getting hit by some 18 and 19-year-old. But guess what? He made varsity. And we was like, what? So he played his first varsity, started his first varsity game as a 13-year-old child. He played well, but we're in a large city. I can count on one hand how many kids his age started varsity that year. He's just one of those very few that does it. But I'm going to say I would not want my child, my 13, 14-year-old child, going up against 18, 19-year-old, sometimes 20-year-old grown men playing. I want him to play JV, freshman or JV for the first couple of years before he would move up to varsity. That's just my opinion. I'm looking at it from the safety, because the body of a middle school child coming out of middle school and the body of a high school, because even in middle school, they're not hitting the gym. In high school, as soon as the season over, they give them 2 weeks and they're back in the gym lifting weights and they're conditioning. And a middle school child is not, their body is not set up like that. They're not doing the weightlifting and the conditioning and that type of stuff. And I'm just not wanting my son, especially for football. I've seen it in basketball. You know, it's a little bit different maybe in basketball because it's not a physical sport. Or even, a different sport like, tennis or golf or something like that. Maybe even lacrosse. Other sports I can see. If you're good enough and you can play varsity, absolutely go ahead. But for football, I'm gonna be reserved with wanting my child going against these grown men and their size.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you on that, Ms. Bryant.
For me, everybody wants a finished product. Like, what about development? I mean, if your son is having to play as a freshman, he's not necessarily going to be the guy as a freshman. Now, he can get out there and get valuable experience, but if he's able to play JV, he can maybe play more positions. He can get more experience, and he can develop against people his age, and he can actually get more confidence. So, we want a finished product, and okay, your kid has potential, but potential is just that. Let's develop him. So maybe he doesn't start varsity his first 2 years, but maybe as a junior, he's the best player in the state because of the experience he's gotten, and he's gotten more attention from his coaches because JV is really stripped back. It's really fundamental. You can actually grow and you can actually develop. So I think you're doing, unless your kid is just a stud and he's out there, he can do it, and the team needs help. Why not? Why would you not want your kid to develop? Why would you not want your kid to grow and get more hands-on attention and experience as a young person? It doesn't mean that because you don't start your first 2 years or first 3 years of high school that you're not going to be able to get a scholarship. It's about what you're doing at the end of your career compared to what you do at the beginning of it. I've seen so many kids who are great as freshmen and they never get any better. They're great coming in. They're really, really good. And everybody else catches up to them, maybe because they're getting more time to grow, more time to develop. There's not added pressure on them. You got freshmen with Power 5 offers that I've seen, and I've been like, what? Offers? But maybe if they were playing JV and they were standing out with people their age and people who are going to be in their class, I could see it. But I think that everyone just lives in this age of, oh, my son's doing this, my son doing that. And they can do that, but let them develop, let them grow. That's my perspective on it. I don't know why everyone is so quick to get it.
You know what, Coach? You and Coach Brian, y'all both hit it dead on the head. But that's why I made the statement that every situation is different because programs run stuff differently. I know the program my kids come through. It's probably the best program was for them. I don't know about nobody else, child. And then listening to Miss Bryan, 13-year-old, when I hear that, I think about Dylan Moses. Dylan Moses, y'all know who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
The kid looked like Incredible Hulk at 13 years old. Looked like a college linebacker at 13. At 13. He got offered, if I might say, at 13 from LSU. So I just think that every situation is different. If the kid makeup is right, he can handle it, and the coaches are doing the right thing for the kid, overall for the next 5 or 4 years, then it's great. But at the end of the day, some of these programs are different. You know, the
Right.
comment I think you made about, the finished product. You know, some of the coaches or programs want to finish. Yeah, you got to develop. Yeah, you got to grow. But if a kid is that much more mature than a 16 or 17-year-old on varsity, and he's 13, and he get in there and he handles it mentally and
You got to play.
So you got to play it. You know,
Yeah, I've never met a coach who.
Yeah.
I've never met a coach who don't want to play the best player. If he can take it and he can do it, I've never met one coach. That's wild. I'm glad I haven't come across that because
you keep coaching.
I'm trying to win.
Coaching. You gonna see. You gonna see it. You keep coaching.
Well,
Man, I've seen some coaches play politics, and you got
there's some. We got
the
some
best
here
players
too.
in America on the sideline, and it's politics. Well, that'll make your rooftop come off.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just felt like our situation was just one of those very, very rare, only because my son was at an advantage because his dad is a coach and his dad can coach, and if he, and other kids are looking at him like, well, because you don't have the coaching that he's had. Y'all have no idea the stuff that we put, the workouts that we go through, because we're not posting all our stuff on social media like a lot of our other friends are doing. You have no idea what we're doing in the back room and in the garage and upstairs. And my living room is a field. Do you hear me? So y'all have no idea. Or all the film that we watch, the IQ that we have. You have no idea the stuff that our son has gone through. So we've gone through it because we've had some people because they had him playing both sides of the ball. Well, this year he's only been playing defense because people are mad because he's on the field. He's on all the special teams. He's on everything on the field. And again, the politics that came in because they don't understand why he's on the field. And we're like, because he has the IQ, he has the speed, he's running a 4.5. There's a reason why he's already got 2 SEC offers and he's only 15 years old. So come on, you're not getting ready to tell. No, he's put in the time.
What they call that, Coach Smith, work ethic, right?
His work ethic is there. His work ethic on the field, and the coaches and all the coaches see it on the field. Nobody outworks my son on the field because that's what we've instilled in him.
That's right.
In every sport that he's his work ethic. Matter of fact, they get mad because he'll do football training in the morning and then he'll have baseball in the afternoon. In the same day after he done hit his academics. Oh, and we don't even talk about the fact that he's got a 4.2 GPA and he's in a college prep program. So don't even talk about it. Don't talk about it.
I gotta send some skills.
He's paid his dues. He's paid his dues. He's paid his dues. But everybody's not on that level. But again, I would not want my child going and playing high school if he's not ready.
Okay, I'm gonna say this, and some of our listeners may be mad, but y'all know how I do. Well, Tolliver knows how I do, and y'all will learn. No parent should have an expectation of playing time. Ever.
Absolutely.
Under
ever.
circumstances.
Don't you get me started on that now. We done talked about that.
Ever.
Playing
I'm a
time
coach. Don't come talking to me about no playing time.
Earned. It is always earned. And a coach may look at what you have done in the past if he is in your proximity. But if a coach is not in your proximity, he may not know your kid or anything about you. Very few high school coaches have the time to go to each middle school and say, okay, well, how's little Johnny doing this week in this particular sport? Or how's Sarah doing? You might get lucky that someone that your kid plays with in middle school has a father or a mother that coaches at a particular high school, but there really should be no expectation of playing time. And there shouldn't be any expectation that a particular coach at a high school would even know your child. I mean, parents might not like that, but it's just the truth. Just know that regardless of what you did in middle school, that when you get to high school, every bit of playing time will be earned. Sorry. Well, not sorry at all. That's something that if more parents realize that playing time has always got to be earned, it's never to be expected. You would have a lot less team hopping, a lot less transfers. I mean, you just have a better athletic experience overall.